Shalom, family. You know what? I'm not going to play the intro. I have
Mm,
had a crazy, crazy morning. And
that's-
just before I came on here, two people called me, and I was like, are you kidding me?
My Lord.
Man. You know, I thought what I was looking at also, Donald Trump gave his Easter message from the Oval Office.
Hmm.
Do you know he let me just read it to you. It was
Okay.
the strangest thing. You supposed to give an Easter message to the country, right?
Hmm.
You would think he would just, talk about what Easter's all about and and wish everybody a happy Easter, right? That's
Yeah.
what you would expect your president to do.
Hmm.
No, not Donald Trump. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull up this article. You're gonna hear how he gave his message. Donald Trump don't know when to turn it off. So Donald Trump gave his Easter message, and what he did was he riddled the message with hate-filled statements about Joe Biden and the courts in his Easter message. Now, why couldn't you just make it about Easter and get off? No. Here's Donald Trump, y'all. I'm gonna read it to you. So he went on Truth Social to give his speech about Easter. So happy Easter. And he wished the radical left lunatics a happy Easter. And
How did I know that that was
wait,
going to be
wait,
the next thing you
it
say?
gets good. Wait, it gets better. So this is what he put out there. Weak and ineffective judges and law enforcement officials for calling Kilmar Abrego Garcia's return from an El Salvadorian prison after the Trump administration deported him there in an administrative error. This is what he had out there. Okay, it goes on. So Trump goes on and says, Biden allowing millions of criminals into our country totally unvetted and unchecked. And what he alleged as the single most clamorous act ever perpetuated upon America. Biden was by far our worst and most incompetent president, a man who had absolutely no idea what he was doing, Trump wrote. But to him and to people that ran and manipulate the auto pen, and to all the people who cheated in 2020 presidential election in order to get this highly destructive moron elected, I wish you, with great love, sincerity, and affection, a very happy Easter.
Wow. Wow.
Could you,
That's
that,
how he greeted the country. This is how Donald Trump greeted the country for Easter.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow. I mean,
I,
every day is something. What I keep saying to you, Lisa, what's gonna happen tomorrow?
What were you
And
going to say, LBZ?
I was sitting here on mute saying, I was on, because I was here the whole time. I said, I'm going to stay on mute until when you said that. I said, I wonder how long it's going to be in her reading before she says the radical left. It took like 5 seconds.
I
Yes,
know she came in with it. I
yes,
mean,
Ev- right.
damn.
Everything is the radical left. Even when it's conservatives, it's the
right.
radical left. This dude projection much. I mean,
Yeah.
when he talked about people electing a moron,
Hmm.
I I was trying to figure out what election he was talking about.
Mm,
They
mm.
mostly always elect moron, but this is the most destructive, stupidest moron that's ever been elected. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's it.
Li-
yeah, absolutely. And
Lisa,
yeah, Joe. Biden was a moron. But, Donald Trump, come on, man. This is the message you send out to the country.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting that you said this, Lisa, because I had got an email from Marcella Muhammad this morning, and she said, "I'm sending you this because I want you to know if any of you notice that Donald Trump has not been out of the country since he's became the president. Today, Easter Sunday, he sent J.D. Vance to visit the Pope. Every president."
Yeah, I got that same email. Yeah, I got the same one.
Yeah. And I didn't even realize it, that he had sent that he had not been out of the country, and that every president has always went to see the Pope. When it's Easter.
Yeah, but nobody wants to see Donald Trump. Who wants to? All these tariffs and the way Donald Trump has treated other countries. Who the hell want to see Donald Trump coming? It makes me wonder, how would he be greeted if he did travel outside the country?
Well, I think, because I wasn't paying attention to it, honestly. I think he's afraid.
Britain already said that they was going to protest. Y'all, it's already.
You're breaking
I've
up.
been to
LVZ,
this.
you're breaking up real bad. You're breaking up real bad, LVZ.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Repeat that, LVZ.
What were you saying?
I was listening to a British broadcast. They are already planning to protest him whenever he comes to the UK.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Donald Trump right now, I don't think anybody would welcome him in their country and him not being protested massively.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he going to go? He done put tariffs on the whole world. He has spoken to these other countries like crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Donald Trump don't know how to talk to people.
Yeah, and he can't control the narrative. Once he step outside them walls, it ain't nothing he can control. And he thin-skinned, and he don't like when somebody ridicule him. So he just gonna stay in his comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all, if you don't know, Kyle Rittenhouse has come out and he is speaking on Karmelo, which, he really don't have no room to be talking about anybody. As far as I'm concerned, Kyle Rittenhouse is better off just keeping his mouth shut. So anyway, he came forward to speak about how people are making comparisons between his case and what has happened with Karmelo Anthony. And did you get a chance to go through the article, LVZ and Royal?
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, absolutely.
You did? Okay.
I didn't go through the article. You know what I did? I went to Kyle Rittenhouse's Twitter and saw what he said and left a whole bunch of
Twitter.
Oh yeah, and left a whole bunch of comments for that fathead, Down syndrome looking retard. So I left a whole bunch of nice words for him right there in his chat room, because I was like, when he was like, what's the difference? I was like, oh, let me help you out. Right. Karmelo wasn't provoking nobody. You was.
Sure wasn't. That's
Karmelo
right.
was minding his damn business.
Right. He crossed state lines just to harass people.
Yeah. He purposely went to go talking about he coming to protect property. We already know what time it was. You thought it was disproportionately.
I mean, you know how stupid that is? Do you know how stupid that is? So if you are in another state and you need your property protected, so you're going to call over to another state for a 17-year-old to come armed to protect your property. Does this make sense to anybody?
That to me, you know what that
whole scenario was dumb as hell. When I first heard it, I was like, okay, You went to protect pride. So they gonna call an underage child from another state to come to their property to protect it. Armed, illegally armed. That's the person they want to come to protect their property.
To me, you know what it sounds like, Lisa? He felt like he was entitled to do that. He gonna make it his business. Let's not forget, his mama drove him across state lines to go do this. What did Carmelo Anthony's parents do? Did they drive him someplace to go encounter this type of situation?
But wait, there's more. Guess what else? Guess what else, y'all? Carmelo Anthony didn't do a straw man illegal gun purchase that just got wiped away by the government. Right? Carmelo wasn't an underage person who wasn't supposed to have a gun. Carmelo was well within his legal rights to have that little pocket knife.
Yeah. And then this is actually blown up in Kyle Rittenhouse face. In his camp, they have been turning on him. So he just put the spotlight on him in a negative way, even more so. People are starting to pull away from him that was supporting him. This is not good for him. But I think that he felt compelled to do this because he broke. So I think he's going to put himself out there thinking he could get a few coins out of the situation.
He need to go sit his little flubby body ass down somewhere and shut the hell up. Looking like some type of looking like a retarded damn AI man. He don't even look like a real person to me. He look like something that was made off the AI.
Yeah.
And Lisa put up the worst picture. Damn.
No, that's deliberate. I love that. You know who the other person I love putting a crazy picture up of? Julianne. Oh, I love putting up those pictures where that dye is dripping from his head.
Oh yeah. We look like he melting. That is funny. I love that picture too. It looked like he melting.
Oh my Lord.
Man, that's priceless.
Man used to have all that money, go get him some cheap dye and throw it up in his hair. I still can't get past that.
But he's the man. But you think about this. The man, it was practically 80 years old. Who the hell is not going to know your hair is gray at 80?
Yeah.
Maybe maybe some woman told him he looked younger. They lied to him.
Yeah,
his hair wasn't that black when he was young. That's the worst part about you. Like, hold on, man. Who you go? We can Google pictures of you when you were younger. Your hair wasn't that dark then.
That's a first for me. Dye running out of your head. Damn.
True Roy, that's that Tammy Faye Baker dye he had in his head.
Yeah, he put her mascara in his head.
Lord. Oh my goodness.
But hey, this is the story. Back to the story. Kyle Rittenhouse don't need to be commenting on anything. Kyle Rittenhouse, if I was him after what he did, he should live the most low-key life in America. He should. And just keep his mouth shut. For real.
Yes, absolutely.
For real.
But homeboy is broke. He has abandoned his family. It's a lot of negative things going on. And let's not forget that book that we was talking about last night, Lisa. Ain't nobody buying that book.
No. That book
True
was
Roy,
a joke.
I didn't know about the book till I went to his Twitter and I was like, hold up. You got to be the first person that wrote more books than he ever read. Because I've never, ever. I was like, hold on. How can somebody with Down syndrome write a book? He probably still got all the stutters still in the book. That's probably all in the book.
LBZ.
I mean, look, academically, these two are nothing the same. Carmelo, a 4.0 student, Kyle Rittenhouse, a 1.0 student.
Mm-hmm. LBZ,
Okay.
I have a question to ask. So when you were over there, you mean to tell me he was still peddling that book?
Honestly, it's the daggone it's like a headliner. It's like the title of his whole thing. When you start leaving messages, you get to his page to leave a message. It's a big picture of the book, and I laugh because it took me like 20 minutes to put something down. I was laughing. He looks stupid. I said, if you look at the cover of this book, you have to be retarded to buy it. No, they giving that book away in special ed classes.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. I mean, when I heard, because I did a video on it when I first found out about it, and I said, if anybody buys this book, it's got to be like a small group of people, and that's all it was. It was a small group of people. When I went to look, y'all, he was like 1,600 on the top, the book list. You know how they put out where your book ranks?
Mm-hmm.
I think he was in the 1,600s.
Ooh, Lisa.
Which means nobody was buying that book. Nobody.
His mom ain't buy that damn book. His mama ain't buy that damn book. She said, Kyle, you stop wasting all that damn paper.
That's when the book ends up at the Dollar Tree. I didn't see. I'm serious. I didn't see books at the Dollar Tree. I'm not joking.
No, I know you ain't joking. It be right there behind the tide. Like,
wait a minute.
Hey, let me get that right there. They be like,
on the bottom shelf, way at the bottom. You damn near gotta sit your ass on the floor to go through the books. I've seen that. Yeah, a lot of people don't even know they sell books at the Dollar Tree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious.
Well, I tell you what, he couldn't. Right? I don't think he can give them books away, can he?
It's probably a pop-up book. Probably got one of them pop-up books.
Or you can use it for a doorstop or something like that. Hold the door open. Yeah. And even but I gotta research that because I want to see what publishing company even put up the upfront money to even put that together. They had to do that.
That was Dr. Seuss. I think Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss like to help the downtrodden. So he gave look, even Down syndrome kids can write a book. Look at Kyle.
Yeah.
And Lisa said,
you know how these MAGA fools and people like Kyle Rittenhouse, what they like to do is always call everything, the left. And it has nothing to do with no left. What he did, I still say to this very moment, what had nothing to do with no self-defense.
No.
It had nothing to do with self-defense.
That was the other thing I said. I said, oh, and his was actually self-defense. Yours was just murdering people.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what Kyle Rittenhouse, if you want to know what he wrote, he said, so the left think what Carmelo Anthony did was self-defense, but what I did wasn't. Can someone please help me with, can someone please help this make sense? Yeah. You were underage. You illegally had an assault weapon. You crossed state lines to purposely go to a rally just to intimidate Black people. And what happened was the white people intervened and you ended up killing them. It's not, no, what you did was not self-defense at all. That's what happened.
And don't forget, he shot him in the back.
That ain't no self-defense. Nothing he did was self-defense, but he got off with it because the courts in this country are rigged.
Yep.
Correct.
But he got the nerve. It's almost like he is trying to say, look at his case and mine, and how can you say mine wasn't self-defense, but his is, because yours wasn't self-defense at all. Just like Daniel Penny wasn't self-defense.
Karmelo was in the tent before them.
Right.
They came in the tent bothering him.
Yeah, they were. Go ahead. Excuse me.
You went to Illinois,
You're
from
breaking up
Wisconsin,
again.
where you ain't had. You went
You're
into the fire where you ain't had no business to be.
Right. Right. And I don't think he should have been at that rally anyway. What does that got to do with him, where he felt he should cross state lines and go to a rally? That rally had nothing to do with him. And I don't know why he was so worked up over this rally. He just wanted to get around Black people and brandish an assault rifle, and things just didn't turn out the way he thought it would.
Yeah. He bit more than he could chew.
Yep. Right, exactly. He lived in Illinois and went into Wisconsin. Remember Kenosha? That's what happened. Yes. But no, Kyle, what you did was straight up murder. That's what that was. What Karmelo did was protect himself.
And he had every right to. So we might as well bring it all the way out, since he wants to speak on things.
Right. If we being honest, those white people that he killed, True Roll, they were actually defending themselves. It was a maniac around them with a gun. All they had was a skateboard.
That's right.
That's right. But like I said, since he didn't put himself out here on the world stage, he is what I wanted to also point out, his family. You know, his father wasn't there to support him. And Lord have mercy, his Miss Piggy looking mama, he done turned his back on his whole family. It wasn't
How you gonna turn your back on your retarded mom and you retarded just like her? That ain't even right, bro. Right? Why would he do that?
She needed some rent money, and he won't have nothing. He won't have nothing to do with his mother or his sisters or anything like that. There's somebody did a fundraiser for the family. I forget what YouTube channel, but I watched the whole thing, and they were crying for money. And then his mama, the only jobs that she can get is wiping somebody's behind. And because his mother thought she was going to get the rest of that donation money. No, that money went to his legal defense.
Right. And you know what? Another thing, when they're trying to make these comparisons, really the only comparison is both Kyle Rittenhouse and Karmelo were both 17. Other than that, there is no similarity between what Kyle Rittenhouse did and Karmelo Anthony. Okay. And you know what I noticed too, True Royal and LVZ? White people question, why did Karmelo Anthony have a knife? Y'all question that more than you question, why did underage Kyle Rittenhouse have an assault weapon?
Yeah. Oh, girl, you right about that. They're making a big deal.
I didn't question that. I didn't even see y'all out there questioning that a lot at all. But Karmelo, you want to keep bringing up the knife over and over and over. I noticed that too.
Right. Now, they never bring up the fact that, like you said, it was an illegal straw man purchase that you're not supposed to be able to do.
You're breaking up again, LVZ.
They don't want me to say that was an illegal gun purchase that the federal government ignored.
Yes.
Yeah, they sure did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
And they had to ignore it in order to get him off of everything. They got him out of everything.
Yeah, and the mother was also supposed to be charged for driving him over state lines to even do that. He was underage. Let's take it
Right.
all the way. Let's go all the way with it.
Right. And I don't even think he had a driver's license. I think that was another reason why his mother drove him there. I
Yeah,
don't think he was licensed.
that's some deranged stuff when you think about it. Your mama drive you to do what he did, and he got the assault rifle in the car, and she
Yeah.
supports this. She ain't questioning nothing. Let that be a black mother. She'd be like, first and foremost, where the hell you get this gun? And what do you think you getting ready to do?
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't do
Mm-hmm.
that.
Right.
We wouldn't do that. We wouldn't even allow the gun in the house. We'd be like, well, where you even get the money to even get this? I mean, what do you think you're doing? It just show you how they get down. It always, the apple don't fall far off from the tree.
Right.
And
Okay. So now when Kyle went there, what they got here is true. He said he went to protect property and offer medical aid. Okay, so you need to take an AR-15 to offer medical aid. That's what I'm saying. That if his alibi never made sense. Never. But that was his alibi. He went to Kenosha to protect property and offer medical assistance, and they accepted that bullshit.
well, I want to say something about the medical aid, Lisa. Did he have a safety kit?
First of all, he don't even have a degree in any medical field that I know of.
Did he have a
So
damn?
what aid
Did he
was
have a
he going
damn?
to offer?
Did he have a damn Band-Aid? Anything?
He didn't have nothing but that AR-15.
Okay.
That was the only thing he had. I guess that he was going to do
Wow.
medical aid with that.
Oh wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And they accepted this from Kyle Rittenhouse as legitimate reasons for being there. They accepted that. The courts in this country accepted that alibi.
Ooh,
Just think about that. I mean, I have heard our people stand in court and tell the truth, and they'll say they lying. Okay, and they're really telling the truth. But they can come up with a flimsy alibi, flimsy as hell, and it's acceptable. So during that night, he fatally shot 2 men in the back. Yep. And wounded a third. So we know Karmelo, he only killed 1 man. He did it with a knife, and nobody else was injured, right? We didn't hear about no other injury when it came down to Karmelo Anthony, right? It was just Austin. That's it. So I don't know what point Kyle Rittenhouse is supposed to make. I guess what he's saying is, why do you believe Karmelo was self-defense and what I did was self-defense too, but actually it wasn't. That's my point. I don't know what this dude, he needs to just shut up.
I'm telling
He
you.
needs to just shut up for real.
He's trying to be an opportunist.
I wonder if his mother and sister got evicted. You remember that? Well, I think that was one of the last stories I did on his family. I think they were on the verge of getting evicted. Kyle was not even speaking to them.
No, they were, Lisa. Like I said, I watched that whole live stream, and they was over there begging for some money because moms, like I said, I what I predicted came true. I said this family is not marketable. They mama don't, she don't look like that. She like I said, she really did look like Miss Piggy, but he turned his back on his family, and I know why he did, because he thought he was getting ready to get broke off a whole bunch of money, and it ain't like that. Now they want people to feel sorry for him because he got He's broke. He can't get no work and all of that.
Actually, he got work now.
Oh, he finally did, huh?
Somebody hired him, and he's working at a gun shop.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it ironic? At a gun shop.
Mm-hmm. From what I understand, he got work at a gun shop. Yeah, so that's what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But Kyle Rittenhouse, nobody needs your input. Okay, go back to your life and whatever you're doing. Nobody needs your input. Yeah, he's working at a gun shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Not surprised.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're right. When I saw his mother, I was like, wow, that's his mother. They really do look like poor white trash.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when I watched when they were doing that fundraiser, the mother was complaining that everywhere, every time she get a job, eventually she loses the job because they recognize her about what her son had did. She can't hold a job. This woman is not very skilled, not very bright. And then his sisters, something is wrong with them. This family is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
They were bitching and complaining about him big time because they thought they was going to get a windfall. And I said again, the family is not marketable because you got to have a certain look, even in white America. And they don't look like the all-American white family.
Right. Right. So, so the critics of Rittenhouse they said they call him racist or right wing, while his supporters said, his case and his acquittal was a victory for self-defense rights. Well, maybe they do see it that way, but I don't see Kyle Rittenhouse or Daniel Penny as self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
If you got to shoot somebody in the back or choke somebody out coming from behind them, I don't see how. And those people didn't touch him. And they even tell you in the story, the guy that he killed didn't touch Kyle Rittenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't touch him.
Mm-hmm.
But in the case of Karmelo Anthony, they laid hands on him. Kyle Rittenhouse didn't have a scratch on him. In fact, if you go back and look at that video of him walking around with that assault weapon, Kyle Rittenhouse didn't have a scratch on him.
No, he did not. Mm-mm.
How you doing, LVZ?
I was just going to tell you, True Roy, this is the only time I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree with y'all. They do look like the all-American family. You remember the Addams family. They look just like the Addams family. What's more American than the Addams family? They look just like them to me.
Yeah.
I don't take no offense, LVZ. I stand to be corrected. I'm wrong.
I'm about to say, it is an American family.
LVZ, the Addams family is actually better. At least both parents were in the household. They were weird and jacked up as hell, but
you know what?
Both parents were in the household.
Right. I'm about to say Gomez left them. Their Gomez left. Gomez rolled up.
Mm-hmm.
With a shame, with a shame. With a shame.
Yeah.
True Lord said he can't. His mother can't keep a job. No way. They won't let that bitch wash dishes.
She can't even. LVZ, she can't even work at a morgue.
No way. The dead people be complaining. Get this dumb bitch out of here. They said the dead people be complaining at the cemetery about it.
Oh my
Right.
goodness.
And the thing is, y'all, I mean, how long do they think they can come to the public begging for money? I mean, seriously, Kyle Rittenhouse and his family? It's now been several years since that incident happened, and y'all still begging money from the public?
Well, you know what? True Roll, Lisa True Roll, we got to start talking about the George Zimmerman effect and how, for real, that's what this is. That how these white supremacists, after they kill people or kill black people or people who try to do something for black people, they try to live off of it forever because they don't have any real marketable skills.
Mm-hmm.
So their whole existence becomes begging white supremacists for more money. Say, remember that time I killed them people? Remember that time I did that? We gotta start talking about how depraved these people are. That it's a whole market off of murdering people, and you don't have no skill. As long as you can murder a black person, or in Kyle Rittenhouse case, white people who think you shouldn't be doing stuff unjustly to black people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole
Mhm.
cottage industry now. And that's how these people feel. That's how they feel like they're gonna live for the rest of their life. See, they ended up getting their check for all of the defense when they got all of that money for the defense fund and stuff like that. They
Mm-hmm.
really think that those white people love them. No, they're just pieces of crap, just like you. And all they wanted to do was try to stick it in our face. But
Yes.
once the
Mhm.
but
Mm-hmm.
once the case is over and all of that, you back to the trailer trash you always was to them.
LBZ,
Mhm.
LBZ, what you are saying, I have been saying for years on the onset when the drama hit. They'll do that, and I can feel the energy, like you can feel the energy to stick it to us by doing the donations and supporting them. But on for the duration of it, they don't support them. They're not going to support them for a lifetime. It's just for them to spew they racism. I have paid attention to this for years. They don't do it at all because they have a number of cases up here in the Bay Area where they have outright killed us. And on the onset, they do what they do, and then those people end up having to go in hiding, or if they do come out, they come out crying because they broke and all. And this is what you're speaking on, LVZ, because I wanted to ask you the question big time, um, and get your quick opinion on the events that had happened this weekend, where the Metcalf father had reacted the way he reacted, and these white supremacists is not liking the way that he's reacting, saying that they, putting, you're causing more strife than anything by being so racist.
You know what? You know how cold-blooded that is? Think about it. I'm not trying to defend this man, but he is a grieving father,
Mhm,
right? He's
mhm,
a grieving father. And some white supremacists are going to call you up and call you weak
mhm. I know that's
because you wouldn't join them. They cold-blooded to their own people.
yeah. I mean, to come out and say that so quick, and first he's just going on and on like he cares so much. And LVZ is right; they don't care. They just use whatever they can use.
Right.
That's all that is. And
Exactly.
then when you don't go along with their narrative, oh, that ain't nothing but guilt. You're feeling guilty for being white and all of that. And the man is grieving. He going through something.
Right.
This ain't even been a month. Damn.
It's only been 2 weeks since this
Yeah.
incident. Well, a little over 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just cold to call somebody up and do that, do what they did. That right there, man,
Mm-hmm.
mm-mm.
Did y'all see
And
that
it
they
just
had a
goes to show
march?
you what's
You saw
that?
that they had a march for Austin Metcalf and like 6 people showed up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. You weren't here last night, LVZ. It was me, True Royal, and Tareen. We were on the panel. I
Oh,
sent
okay.
you a link. Maybe you just didn't, maybe you
I was
just didn't
knocked
see
out.
it.
More than likely, I was knocked out. I fell asleep kind of early yesterday, but
Yeah.
I saw it this morning when I woke up. I said, "Damn, wasn't nobody out there. It was
No.
more fire ants outside than it was."
Yes. Yes. And they said it had rained that day. They had that protest too. And they said, what one guy, because I had him in there. He lived there, and he was saying it had rained. And, when he saw that protect white Americans, and he was like, he said, I'm not going to that. And I would advise other people in Frisco not to go to this rally. And I don't think those folks would have showed up like that. Protect white Americans.
But Lisa, you got to tell LVZ the rest of that. Tell them about the flyer.
LVZ, did you ever get a chance to look at that flyer they put out?
Yeah, I actually did get to see it, True. I saw it on like I said, when I woke up this morning, I had saw it was a march. I said a march, and they were clowning it. Like less than 10 people showed up, and I was laughing. And I saw the flyer, and just like you said, it had protect. I said, hold on, they act like Karmelo just jumped on. I'm coming to stab me a cracker. That's not how that happened. That is not how that happened. That is not how that happened.
Right.
And true, to what you were saying about, and you at least about how him grieving. Look, ain't nobody ever did. I'm just saying. This is my conjecture, but I really believe that white man knows the type of kid he raised, and he know he didn't put restraints on that little boy, on them boys, and let them do whatever the hell they wanted to do. And he knows
that's what I had said.
This is a repercussion of me not being the father I was supposed to be.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
Wow.
They know what they raise. Trust me.
Right.
They know.
Because I say it all the time to my son when people be like, man, I'm like, damn right, I jump on my son's ass. You know why? Because I'm the one that love them. And if I don't discipline them, the people outside gonna discipline them, they gonna do it, and they ain't gonna show no love.
Yeah,
and it might be his last day on earth.
And see, that's the disservice that white America do when they spew that racism in their individual households. The disservice that they do is they put it out in such a way that they to their children that people are going to respond. They putting it out like people are not going to do nothing to them, and they just going to chunk up and take it. And then when they get a slap in the face, then they want to go run and get a gun and shoot up everybody because they hurt. They do that to them. That's their damn fault at the end of the day. But LVZ, I want to go back to the flyer. They didn't spell Frisco correct, and then they put high school all together in one word.
Yeah, they spell high school as one word.
High school.
And on top of that, the guy that was talking he had a cowboy hat on him in the video. He was saying that they had Wakefield. He said there is no school in Frisco called Wakefield.
Let me find, these crackers have no idea. They don't know what happened. All they know is a black kid stabbed a white kid, and they want to be mad about that. They don't know where it is. They don't know what happened. Shit, they don't even know how to spell high school. So,
No.
These them high IQ people.
Yeah.
These them high IQ
it was
people.
them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's not forget the guys that was pushing this narrative. It was a Jeff Lang and a Philip Anderson, and they both are MAGAs. They were pardoned by Trump. One is a white guy, one is a black guy.
And you know what the funny thing, Lang, he had the nerve to stand there talking about violence. January 6th was nothing but violent. That whole day was violent up at the Capitol.
I was about to say, how you gonna talk about violence? You just beat cops to death. You doo-doo on somebody office desk.
People died at January 6th, right up there at the Capitol. People died. And this dude talking about some violence against white people. Man, if you don't go somewhere and sit down.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, what was January 6th, y'all? Violence against white people. Those the people that died was white people.
Mm-hmm.
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 When they were
Mm-hmm.
saying hang, do they think Mike Pence is from Harlem, New York? When they were
I don't
saying
know.
hang Mike Pence, that's a
Yeah.
white guy. What are they talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw them outside fighting the cops. I mean, we saw the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Busting the windows, scaling the building and climbing in there. Oh, we saw it all.
Mm-hmm.
But this dude is standing somewhere talking about some violence.
Mm-hmm.
He got some nerve.
Yeah, he got the nerve like disproportionately. Um, it's like black folks are just going after white people on a day-to-day basis, and they're under full attack. You're just trying to use anything, and and
Right.
the thing that I'm gonna keep saying over and over again, this is not going to make us come out in these streets. What we doing is we are wisely using our dollars, and this is bringing again, like Turin had said, more promotion for people to go to GiveSend Go to keep putting money towards Anthony's defense fund. So y'all
I was about to
helping.
say, I'm glad you said that, True. These dummies don't even know that. I guess they trying to trick us into coming out. But what you did was made us be more strategic, and now we just gonna worry about him getting off.
There we go.
Right. That's
Mhm.
it.
There you go, LVZ.
That's it.
Thank you.
And they were out there talking, things that they need to rescind his bond. What do you mean they need to rescind his bond?
Mm-hmm.
I said, see, that's why only 20 people showed up. Because y'all out there just saying stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Rescind his
they need to
bond.
lock Trump up. Then, if they need to rescind his bond, somebody with 34 felonies, then he need to spend some nights in jail.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
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 Yeah, see, when they
See,
question
that's
Trump,
why it's a lot. You know what, LVZ? Thank you for saying that. See, it's a lot more difficult for them to talk about us being criminals and you elected a criminal.
mm-hmm.
So obviously, criminals don't bother you that much. You put one in the White House.
That's shameful, Lisa. That's really shameful. And I
No,
mean,
that's why I'm saying,
Think
y'all
about it.
don't let them get away with talking about we're criminals and this and that, and they done elected one.
mm-hmm.
That
I th-
argument of we're the criminals, that mess is dead.
Mm-hmm.
They need to move on from that argument because that ain't gonna work out for them no more.
right, and lay it on thick, y'all. Say, look, not only did you elect a criminal, you elected a criminal knowing he was gonna let more criminals out.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
elected him knowing, happily knowing he was. Look, you backed the blue so much that you was cool with people killing them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Trump is signaling for them to go out and terrorize the streets of America. That's what that was all about. Trump ain't fooling
Mm-hmm.
nobody. Trump is a coward.
Yes.
Yeah, I lay it on thick all day. He ain't nothing but a damn coward. That's why
You know, you notice he ain't talking up these cops like he used to.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that?
Yes.
Some of
Yep.
the police departments, see what happened was when he wanted to round these illegals up, a lot of the police departments around the country didn't want to do it because they said they were short on manpower and they just didn't want to get involved in, immigration. Well, Trump got mad at them and said if they didn't do it, he was going to defund police departments all around the country. So since then, he ain't cozying up to the cops like he used to.
They're not feeling Trump on a lot of these things that he's doing, and it's
Mm-hmm.
going to continue to be like that because he didn't. Now what he has done, he's like I said, if he goes to an event and people are cheering him on, that narrative have been controlled. He can't control the narrative at all. He don't like, he wants to be rotten, but then he want to be liked on top of that. And there's certain things that he can't control, thinking, throwing up these tariffs or doing whatever you call yourself doing is going to work. It's not going to work. And it's wrong to snatch people off the street, throw them in.
Oh, yeah, they're kidnapping these people. But didn't they kidnap us?
Yes, they did.
I'm about to say they just going back to their roots.
They're all about. Yeah.
No, LBZ. They going back to their nature. They straight nature. That is in their DNA. Can't shake it.
They say we getting back to our roots.
Yeah,
we kidnapping
wrong.
people.
But
and everything.
But wait a minute. Yes, it is wrong. But because the Latinos have showed your ass and your racism to the Black community, that's why I ain't feeling you on it.
That's what I'm about to say. Look, that's what I'm about to say. See, that's where you messed up at. When you voted to be kidnapped, I can't say nothing.
Yeah,
when you vote to get kidnapped, don't ask me to help you.
No, it goes deeper than that, LBZ. When somebody clearly tell you, if you vote for me, this is what I'm going to do to you. And they do it. And then you cry about it. It don't make no sense to me. They don't hide. They gonna, they telling you, I'm gonna whoop your ass. Vote for me and I'm gonna whoop your ass. You vote for them and then you whoop their ass. And they're like, wait a minute, you whoop my ass. Something ain't right. I was shocked. Them people, when I went and checked in the Latin community and seen how hard they campaigned for Trump, they was out there and had mariachi bands. I vote for Donald Trump and all that stuff. I said, oh, wow, these people are unreal.
You heard that song too?
Yeah.
Everybody gonna make it. Look, hey, we gonna remind them of that song forever. I will vote for Donald Trump. And you'll get your ass sent on home too. There you go. You voted, and it's your last ballot, motherfucker.
And y'all come across that fence being racist too. Y'all came across the fence being racist. So no, I don't have no compassion for you. Y'all better just stay off the street so you can't get snatched and kidnapped.
Amen. And look, Lisa, that don't even work all the time either, because now they're coming houses too.
Yeah, they busting in their house. Yep, busting on in.
I would just think about what True Rose said. That is like, not only is it like vote for somebody, say, look, you vote for me, I'm gonna whoop your ass. Not only did they vote for him, they went, oh, I don't believe you're gonna whoop my ass. I don't really believe you're gonna do that, even though you just keep saying it. I don't think you're gonna do it.
Wow, that's just not logical. Some stuff I just question,
Yeah.
When somebody say something to me, even though I may not like them at all, I respect what they say. I respect it. All right. And I'm going to honor it on top of that.
Especially if it's something counteractive or counterintuitive to everything that I'm trying to do. If they come out full-throated, standing on all 10, telling me, look, man, you vote for me, I'm sending your ass up out of here. That would have been a clear, look, if Donald Trump had said, look, vote for me and you're going back in captivity, it would still be 5 or 10 coons to vote for him. It is still, Rob Smith would vote for him. I don't care what nobody. Rob Smith and Jason Whitlock would definitely vote for him. Them two would vote for him. But everybody else.
I know.
Yeah, and then people, even when he is in office doing what he is doing, people are saying, oh, I don't believe he will do that. And I'm like, he's doing it. What are you talking about? on a day-to-day basis. He doing it.
That's because some of these people are never going to wake up. They are never going to wake up. See, we're already there. And I think you're in disbelief because you see what Donald Trump is doing, and you're like, well, how do they not see this? They don't, or they choose not to.
And then get mad at us because we've been telling your ass day one about their nature, and then get mad at us. And then
the Palestinians did the same thing the Latinos did, right? When they voted Donald Trump, because many of them voted for Donald Trump. What did Donald Trump say? Oh, Gaza, we can turn this. This is prime real estate. Just ship these people somewhere else, and we can turn this land into casinos and hotels. And now they're crying. That's our land. We don't want to be relocated. But you voted for Donald Trump. Those Palestinians did the same thing. They voted for Donald Trump.
Thank you. They did the same thing like you said, Lisa. Black people sat there and told them, said, hey, man, I ain't sure if you want to do that. Oh, no, we not like y'all. We don't vote for incremental change. We like, hey, Slim, I don't know if you know, but it's not going to be incremental what Donald Trump do to y'all. Yeah, we not saying that the other people is going to help y'all, but this one will try and wipe you out. And now that they getting wiped out, they crying and praying to the. And look, I don't know what to tell you. You better go join the Nation of Islam and eat a bean pie and change your name to something else. And maybe they can blend in, but I don't think it's gonna work.
No, the one that get me that Lisa always say is we got family values.
Yeah,
it blow my mind. Trump,
yeah, they got family values. Honestly, they got standing in the rubble in the middle of God.
Yeah, those Latinos were saying that stuff. Oh, we got family values. They won't deport us. Oh, yes, they will. They don't care. Why don't you have good family values in your homeland? Why don't you have that there?
Yeah, why? Yeah, your folk over there terrorizing you, and you running over here, and then you come over here, literally, with just the clothes on your back, and come over here being racist towards us. You don't have no history. You cannot look through the history books anywhere where we have did anything to them people. But throughout history, when it comes to white America, they have terrorized the globe. They have brought destruction globally.
And they have brought slavery. Why do you think they all speak Spanish? They have been conquered by the Spaniards over in Europe, came over here and conquered their asses. And I said, and I had to tell one of them one day, I said, every time you open your mouth and speak Spanish, just understand you speak that because your ass was conquered. What was your original language? Because it was not that Spanish that you're speaking.
Not at all.
They did that, Lisa, twice to the Filipino nation. I mean, I went to high school with them, and they have Spanish last names.
Yes, they do, and they
confusing to me. It blew my mind. I'm like, wait a minute.
This how you know the coon Filipino from the Filipino who in touch with his Negrito roots. The coon Filipino will act like it's some great honor. But the most of the Filipinos that I talk to, them dudes can't stand that shit. They can't stand it. They talk about it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Which makes sense. But no, you know what these Latinos did? They got comfortable with it. And then wanted to emulate the people, and they want to emulate the people that conquered them. Who does that? Think about that. We got conquered because we were in slavery, right? So we're going to get out of slavery, and all of us collectively are going to walk around and act like white folk now.
Yeah. And think
you want to get yourself as far away from what they do as possible.
Yeah, and think you're going to suppress us. We ain't putting up with this. We are not going along with being suppressed. We ain't
Right.
going back to
And
no
the bad
damn plantation.
to add insult to injury, we dealing with enough racism right here in America. We don't need no goddamn imported racists.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
carry
you.
your ass back home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't need no Goya flavored white supremacists. That's okay.
Mm-hmm. But then,
Mm.
but they giving mixed messages on top of that. They want us to go out there in them streets and march with them. You know?
Because their marches are boring. I saw their marches. Their march don't have no flavor. It's boring. They're not going to capture anybody's attention. And plus, if you want to stay in America, why would you go out in the streets protesting, flying a Mexican flag? You
And then they
flying the
burning the
flag.
American
Hey,
flag.
you're flying the flag of the land you fled. And you think that's the right thing to do when you're protesting in the streets of America.
Lisa, they flying the flag of a place they trying not to go back to. That
That's
makes
what I'm
no
saying. The place they fled. The place you fled, that's the flag you're flying around. I mean,
Lord.
these fools, I'm sorry, you Latinos are dumb.
Lord have mercy.
Y'all,
I don't want to go back to Mexico. Let me fly the flag. That don't make sense, bro.
Yeah.
That don't make sense.
I didn't even think about that one. Lord have mercy.
now, so these folks are going to look at that, see all them a sea of Mexican flags, and they're going to say, yeah, send their asses back home. That's what they're going to say when they see all them flags in the street. Send them right back to the land where that flag belongs.
Wow.
I'm sorry, you're not going to capture anybody's sympathy when you're going out in the streets with the flag of your homeland, flying it around. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm about to say you can't garner sympathy when you were sitting there right there with the oppressor, laughing at us, calling us lazy, talking about how we criminals. You sounding just like them. You was saying
Right.
you was repeating the same talking points as
Single
Donald Trump.
point. Every single talking point, they were repeating it.
Yeah, but the
Yo,
thing
we
is,
work hard. We work hard. Work hard where? In the bean field?
Lord, but you know what gets me? Okay, you seeing they using the same talking points. You seeing that they work hard, but look at how they treating who they working for. You're acting very subservient, getting disrespected on all levels, and you think you better than us?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that don't add up to me.
Right. And another thing they do is they try to use the civil rights movement and
Lord.
for their cause. Look, what Dr. King did had nothing to do with somebody jumping across a fence. That's not civil rights. If you jump the border to come in here, that's not civil rights. Okay? That's not what he was talking about. And that's not what the civil rights movement was about. But they're trying to act like them crossing over a border illegally and what Dr. King did are the same. It's not the same.
Lord have mercy.
It's never been the same.
Yeah, I'm about to say Dr. King was already here, people. He was already.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And y'all did not build this country. Stop with that shit too.
You didn't build the country, and you need to stop singing "We Shall Overcome," because I've seen some of the videos where y'all out there talking about you don't have nothing to overcome. All you got to do is carry your ass back home. You have nothing to overcome here in America. Take your butt back home.
Yeah, all that.
No, Lisa. See, that's the language barrier. You didn't understand. They wasn't saying we shall overcome. They said we will up and run. We will up and run. We will up and run. That's what they were saying. They wasn't saying they should overcome. They said they will up and run.
Yeah, you got about that, LVC.
Oh man, yeah.
Mm.
So, now Donald Trump ain't even bothering to knock on your door. They're just on site. They see y'all in the streets, they jump out of them vehicles, grab you, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, they'll snatch you out of the hospital while you in the bed. Maybe
Yes.
right after you come out of surgery,
Your kids,
they shipping your ass out of here.
your kids from the school are getting snatched. They don't care. They're just grabbing and running with you. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care.
They don't. And we've been telling you this.
Mm-hmm.
And you getting mad at us. And I know why they redirect and get mad at us, because they still got some type of hope, thinking they're gonna come back. So they want to reserve how they really feel about the true enemy, because that's who
Well,
they
I think a lot of it is fear too, True Royal. It's what you had said to me about how you saw it on the job, how they fear white people. And I believe they do as a collective. I really do. That's why
That
they
is
keep
the
turning their
Lord
attacks on
truth.
us. They keep turning their attacks on us so they don't have to worry about attacking white people.
Seriously,
That's
that's
what that
really
mess
what it's
is.
about.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Cause here, look, right here, that's one of the biggest things that we have a problem with in our union. And when we end up having a union meeting, everybody laughs at me because I always go, "Hey, look, man, I don't know where a lot of y'all from, but understand you here now, and we in a union, and we have certain rights that we've all fought for." I said, y'all gotta stop acting like they gonna send y'all back home if you tell them no. And everybody busts out laughing except them. They
Yeah.
always look at me mad, but I don't get it
Mm-hmm.
down. I'm telling the truth.
Yeah,
Right.
LBZ, what you're talking about, I have experienced going to union meetings too, and they will sit there at them union meetings quiet, and they are all huddled together. I ain't never seen so much fear in my life, and the only ones that's up there speaking is us and white folks. They won't say nothing. They won't say nothing at all. They
And,
just
and,
they
and they
fearful.
quick to do this, ain't they, True? Won't they? And tell True Roy, tell them, well, don't they always do this? If they got any gripes, it's always aimed towards the union. You
Yes.
like, hey, Slim, I had to tell them one day, and when I meet, I said, y'all think these white people really love you? I said, man, I ain't trying to pay y'all all this money just to change a damn bed in the hotel. And they got mad when I said it. I said, but that's all y'all really do. I said, but the reason you making $30 an hour is because of the union. So don't be complaining about paying $20 and $30, $20 and $30 to the union when you being protected.
Yes.
I said, y'all really think these white folks love y'all? They don't love y'all.
They don't.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
They
But
don't.
yeah, because I mean, I really saw it when just before the immigration, really, really jumped off in the country. I was watching them over on TikTok, video after video. Black people, where are you? Black people, we need to stand together. It was all their videos were aimed at black people. All of their videos, all of them. And I was
Man,
like, what the hell is up with this?
this one Mexican girl got her ass roasted though. She started talking about, I can't believe back in the day during slavery, Mexico let blacks come around to. First of all,
Yeah, yeah. A lot of them have been trying to pull that LVZ, but
yeah,
our people are smart enough to know better and have been pushing back hard on that.
right. But this what I wanted to say that people haven't been saying. There's only one problem with that, bitch. The president was a black man in
Yes, he
Mexico that
was.
made it
Yes, he
illegal
was.
for slavery to happen, and it was the black people in Mexico who freed y'all, like Gaspar Younger. And as soon as y'all got free and got a chance to be with the white man, y'all killed him and stabbed him in the back. So I don't
Yep.
want to hear this. Why won't you help us? Why won't the Negroes help us? No,
Yes.
No.
no,
Yeah.
no. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
to the
But
Chipotle.
they've been trying to run that. We were tight. We were close. I
Yeah.
said, I've been on this earth for a long time and I don't remember being tight and close with a bunch of Mexicans.
Well, I ain't seen when
I
they
don't recall
when they
such a
showed
thing.
when they show them black and white pictures of us in the cotton fields. I don't see nan Mexican in the cotton
No,
field with us.
none of them. There's
Thank you,
nobody but us
True.
out there.
True, bro. When we in the cotton field, and
Uh-huh.
when they show them cotton field pictures, Juan is not there. When you
No.
go when you go see us getting bit by dogs,
Mhm.
I do not see Hector.
No,
When you
Yeah, and even during the lynchings, it's just the black guys hanging up there. I don't see no Mexican guys, and I don't see none of that up there.
no, they
ain't nobody wearing a sombrero. Ain't
No, they
nobody wearing a
there.
sombrero.
No,
They was there. They was behind the damn camera. They was watching it go down. They was there when we was on the auction block and everything. They were there. They were watching it.
They wasn't there because they wasn't made yet, Truro. They wasn't even, they didn't exist yet. Remember, it took them another 100 years to become what they are now. At the time when we was on the,
they watched us get abused. That's all I'm saying.
I've never heard about Juan or Hector in no damn slave field anywhere up here.
No, I didn't say it was a slave field.
They must have been out west. Kim, all I got to say about that is they must have been out in the west. Because over here on the East Coast, in the Carolinas and Georgia, they were not here.
They were not here. I still say that
because they were not over
they
here.
Wasn't in Maryland either. They was not here. I'm telling you. We ain't start going to school with them. Auntie, we ain't start going to school with them here in the East Coast till 2000s. Okay. Like Charisma wasn't even going to school with him, and he was born in '95. I started seeing all these kids Jabari now.
All I'm trying to say is LBZ. I'm not saying that they was everywhere, but if you look at the map, there were certain areas that they were there watching this go down.
Yeah, I believe they must have been, but I'm just telling you on the East Coast, if they were here, it wasn't many of them.
Yeah, but
it wasn't enough of them
over
even
here
matter.
on the East Coast, when I have seen so many pictures of our people at the cotton mill, in the fields, I've seen our people doing other kind of chores, and you don't see no Mexicans there.
Okay, but when you go when you hit Texas and those type of
now see there you go.
Oh, now see you got me right there. Now Texas, but over here, look, we gotta remember, Austin, that shit don't count. Texas and all that shit don't count. Why I say that? Because the birth of America was over here. The East Coast was first. Remember, the Western expansion was later when they came along.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that.
But the birth of America here, they ain't had nothing to do with it.
No.
But see, I'm not letting up. Like, okay, yeah, somebody just put down Kerry Wright near the border and all of that type of stuff like that. They was there and they seen it going down, and I'm not giving them no grace. The ones
no. I understand, and I agree with you. And not only did they see it, they're trying to make claims that they were helping us all along. And I don't see no Juan Carlo over here where my people were in the Carolinas and Georgia where they were slaves. I ain't seen Juan Carlo over here.
Wasn't no old El Paso over here. Wasn't no Tio Sancho over there.
I don't see nobody Mexican out there trying to give our people aid. It was not Harriet Tubman and Juan Martinez running,
Carlo Martinez.
It was nothing like that.
Yeah, we don't have no history of that at all. No, you're absolutely right.
So when they sit over there on TikTok talking about they done helped us a lot, that's bullshit.
Yeah, and they got the nerves to even fix their mouth to say that they built America.
Yes.
It's a known fact. Even out of racist ass Trump mouth, he even said that we built America.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that, because look, he said that just to appease some of them coons. I know. Think about it. Just 2 days ago, True Roll, That shit pissed me off. J.D. Vance was talking about how his ancestors built America with their bare hands.
Oh, Trailer Park Trash, J.D. Vance.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was like, man, I ain't had no damn mascara back then. Wasn't nobody in your family.
Uh-huh.
Oh my Lord. Boy. This has been one hell of a
But
year.
I heard, but I seen a white guy on Twitter go after him. Go, hold up. When did you become black? What the hell you mean? Your ancestors built it by hand, bitch. That's really what he typed though. A white guy typed that to J.D. Vance. He said, hold up, you black now? When did that happen? Your ancestors built America with their bare hands. He said, shit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, every day is something.
But you know, but one thing, y'all, you notice we are in great demand these days. I don't care what group it is, they are demanding us to be out there with them. White folk want us out. The Latinos want us out. You know, everybody, it's everybody in black people these days. Everybody, the Palestinians and black people. Almost like, I said, I didn't know we were in so much demand.
Yeah.
But I guess we are.
Yes, we are. We are in heavily demand. You know, now they asking Al Sharpton to come and encourage us to hit them streets and see y'all ain't learned nothing. We ain't feeling Al Sharpton. That ain't working.
Yeah. And then remember when the war over there in Palestine happened, then the Jews were running up on us. We were there during civil rights. We were there. Y'all should be with us. Like, okay, whatever.
You know what? Let me tell you really what they be saying. When they were out there protesting because they wasn't being treated right out there picking tomatoes and doing all of that, they said that when Cesar Chavez was out there protesting and all, they saying that we was not supporting them. When you go look that up, they are bitter because they felt like we were supposed to support them. We didn't suppress y'all ass when you was out there picking tomatoes and being abused out there in them fields. So that was y'all cause. We had to deal with our stuff. But y'all won't always sacrifice us. Look,
I see what you typing, Niecy, but I ain't calling no damn ICE. That ain't none of my business. Look, that I'm gonna mind my black business all the way around. If they get snatched up by the Peckerwood, that the Peckerwood gonna have to do their own job. I'm not helping the Peckerwood do no job, and I'm not helping them either. Look, this is all between y'all. Y'all figure that out and hit me up when I wake up. But I'm not helping nobody do nothing. I'm not helping the Peckerwood, and I'm not helping them.
Yep. I know where you're coming from with that. The only thing that I'm concerned about at this point is getting our folks through the summer. We heavily need to be out here encouraging to be very mindful where we go and what we do. Just need to come together and keep supporting each other. And you know, we have every right to be out and enjoy the summer like anyone else, but we really need to be mindful because these people are bitter, they are desperate, they are on their last leg. They're not in a win-win situation.
Make sure we stay together this summer. I mean, move together. Don't move by yourself. Stay together this summer because it's about to hit the fan. These Peckerwoods gonna finally learn that tariffs didn't work, and they're gonna be broke, and they're gonna be running around like the Peckerwood out there in Florida. They gonna be mad for nothing, ready to take aim at people. So stay in packs, stay away from the Peckerwood, and please, please, please don't go out here trying to make no friends. Stay with each other.
And don't let them coax you into believing that you're their friend. No. Yeah. Okay. Because anytime, one thing I learned about them folks, when they call you a friend, there is a hidden agenda in that. like LBZ said, stay away from them.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
This how you know if you got a white friend. If you got a white friend, if they say this, black people stay home. Look, them the only white people that I give a thumb up to right now. Because you see them on TikTok, they be like, look,
Yeah,
you've done enough. It's our turn. Yeah, these
right.
are the weakest, meekest, mildest protests I ever seen in my life. And it's the most unseasoned protests I've ever seen. But let them stay that way. We ain't
Yeah.
add no seasoning salt. That's on
Hmm.
you.
Yep.
That's right.
When we go out and do our little barbecues and do what we do, have some guards watching the perimeters and everything. I'm gonna be heavily talking about this. I'm very serious about this and everything
Yeah.
because yeah, they laying in the cut. They laying in the cut.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of things are going to turn up this in these coming months because you heard China ain't sending stuff over here like they were before. So they said it takes 7 weeks from one ship to leave China and make it to the shores of the US. So it's going to be about that time frame when you start seeing less and less and less. And we already know what these folks do when they panic. We saw it during the pandemic. They gonna run in the stores and start ripping the toilet paper and all that off the shelf and start doing all that panic buying. That's what all that mess is gonna start up again.
And then y'all gonna see something that y'all haven't seen in a long time. They're gonna start doing pretty soon, y'all. That's when you're gonna learn that the only quote unquote actual patriotic people are the black people in America. Because
Yep.
after a while, you're gonna start seeing white folks defecting. You're gonna start seeing white folks literally, and it's gonna mess you up because it's gonna be the most racist ones going to China. And let me tell y'all why. They're gonna find out that that's where the most of their Viagra made at, and then they definitely gonna be, oh no, I've got to get over there. My Vienna sausage won't stand up. Got to go to China.
LVZ, the white folks ain't even screwing anymore.
Look, that's what President Xi said. President Xi said, I fix these more. I'm not sending nothing over there. Yeah. He'd be like, look.
Them sugar tablets painted blue.
Right. That's when they're gonna find out. They're gonna find out. They were like, damn, even the Viagra and stuff was made in China. Yep. And they not sending it to you.
Yep.
They're gonna be taking sugar tablets. Oh my Lord.
You know, China is now trying to cut out the middleman altogether and want Americans to come directly to them and buy from their manufacturers. And because I see there's a lot of videos of them doing all kind. Oh, you can come over here. They're now offering 10-day visas to allow Americans to go over there and shop directly from their factories.
Lord.
And bring it all back here to America. That's what they're offering.
Oh,
I did see that. They letting you go on a Chinese shopping spree, True.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be up in the Nike factory buying them straight off this little 5-year-old kid.
Yeah, the Nikes are cheaper out of China. And one black woman, I saw her over there on TikTok. She said, I bought 7 pairs. I said, damn.
Oh, I gotta go check that out. Wow.
She bought 7 pairs of Nikes because they cost a lot less if you get them from China.
So you just take you a trip over to China and just you can just
10-day visa. They said they'll even escort you to their manufacturers and you go all in there and shop and buy directly from their factory where it's dirt cheap.
Boy, they conquering their ass. Lord have mercy. Oh, wait a minute. On my channel, they saying cell phones too. My goodness.
Yeah. I mean, virtually everything.
Yeah.
You know, because everything is just so cheap over there.
Well, the other thing I want to throw out, since you're talking about that, because a lot of people shop on Temu, they already have over here in throughout America warehouses full of supplies, and they ain't went up on their prices. They actually are going down on their
China
prices.
said, I was listening to some of the Chinese people talking. They said their prices ain't never changed through this whole trade war. They said none of their prices have changed. Everything is still cheap. Their economy is doing fine over there. But over here in America, every time Donald Trump runs to the camera and screams tariff, the prices go up.
You know
and I
what?
said, that doesn't even make any sense. That right there tells you this whole price gouging is a sham. How is it that China can keep the prices down, but they're rising over here? This whole thing is a sham.
You know what, Lisa? It is a big sham, because I've been researching throughout the world what people are paying for utilities. And I've been following these two young black kids over, they living in Egypt right now. Do you know they only pay $4 a month for their utilities? They they renting an apartment for $98 a month. And they said since they have lived there, they have experienced price reduction in their rent.
Yeah. Well, when Americans went on to Red Note and were talking about rent to the Chinese people, they said their rent is like $200 and $300 a month for an apartment. That's it.
Yep. And they was like, houses cost how much? They said, man, we got things where we can send you a whole house for $20,000.
Yes.
We can send you them of us said they can send you a house.
China don't pay property taxes. Do y'all know that? They don't pay no property taxes. Once they buy the house, the land and everything belongs to them. They don't have to pay no taxes on it at all.
Did you see the dude clowning the MAGA people talking about he said, yeah, the US put tariffs on us here in China. Let me show you all the stuff in my house that's from the US. And then he opened his hand. He said, that's nothing, because y'all don't make nothing, and bust out laughing.
You know, the last week we went to CBS Pharmacy to buy a blood pressure monitor. They were $100 a piece. Got on Temu, they were $19.
Yeah.
We bought 2 of them.
I got mine from there, and it works just fine.
It worked just fine. And we spent a total of $42 for 2 of them. And they charging $100.
Yeah. In fact, the one I bought, the same one was on Amazon, and it was like triple the price.
Yes.
Nope.
Yeah,
China said the Chinese people said, Damon, the Chinese people said they pay no property taxes. None. Nobody pays property taxes over there.
Yeah, that lets you know that they just gouging us, because you know people are complaining about utilities and everything, and they just steadily going up. But then when you go around with what Trump want to call shithole countries or third world countries and all, and they ain't paying that. It don't even make no sense. It's astronomical what we paying. Food too high, electricity too, everything is just too damn high.
Yeah.
We've been, like I said, this country, shouts out to Superboy, shouts out to Harvey. This country has been ran by slave masters, thieves, and opportunists for so long that people didn't understand they was getting screwed. And then they always use the guys of, we're in America, we're free, they're communists, Well, first of all, let me tell y'all something. All communism ain't the same. Communism in Cuba ain't the same as communism in Russia. Communism in Russia ain't the same as communism in China. China's communism is basically based off economics. They even said it. They said the worst thing about their industrial boom was the water was polluted, the air was polluted. And they said it. They said, y'all talking about bringing back factories. talking to the white folks. Talk about bringing back factories that's gonna poison your water, poison your air, and then they not gonna pay you when you working. He said, I don't see how
Exactly.
that's gonna help you. An old Chinese dude said that on TikTok, and I bust out laughing. I said, damn, my dad literally said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not going to bring those manufacturing jobs back. Donald Trump is trying to sell you a fantasy. That's
Mm-hmm.
what he's doing. Let me show y'all something since we're talking about manufacturing. Hold on. Let me put this up on the screen. And this is the reason why manufacturing jobs are never going to come back, y'all. This is just one example. China can make a fire truck. Y'all see the size of those fire trucks, right? They can do it for $400,000 in 6 weeks. They can build a whole fire truck. When the U.S. builds a fire truck, it takes 4 years and it costs $2 million. Now, why would you bring manufacturing jobs back?
Why does it take 4 years?
That's how long it takes when the U.S. builds a fire truck.
I was
Now,
taking the same
which
thing
one
you
do you
were.
think? Why would you bring manufacturing jobs back when it takes the U.S. longer and it costs more money to do things?
That ain't even productive. Damn.
Y'all, do y'all realize and the time that it take, the time and the money that it takes to make one fire truck, y'all? They are literally admitting that China can make close to 500 in way less time
Yes.
and
Wow.
with way less money.
They
That
are
don't,
not bringing those jobs back here, y'all.
that don't
They're
even
not. And the Chinese people, because their cost of living is cheaper, you don't have to pay them all that much.
yeah, that don't even comprehend because wow. Okay.
My bad math. I think it's 50,000. I think it's 50,000 if I'm not mistaken. I think
That's
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's shameful.
400,000 times 50,000, I believe should equal 2 trillion.
You know, me knowing what I know about metals, all you got to do is prefab everything and then put it together. Damn. You have one shop that just prefab and just put the damn thing together. What are you doing to build something that take 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
That don't comprehend to me. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna leave that right there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So why would anybody? And plus, people are pissed off at Donald Trump from these other countries. They ain't gonna come to America to buy nothing, especially as long as Donald Trump is in office. They're not gonna buy nothing from us.
Even as taxpayers, just what you just put up, it makes no sense to want us to make a damn fire truck. I'm just
No.
looking as a taxpayer. It makes more sense for us to just pay China to do it
Right.
than it
Yeah.
does for us to just do it here.
Right.
Yeah, but I
And just
wonder.
think about that too. They make it and plus ship it over here. It still wouldn't eat. It still would not even add up to $2 million.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the hell are you doing in 4 years with some damn metal that shit, they need to all be fired.
Okay, that's 2 million. Okay, so I was right. All right, so it was 500. You can make 500. You can make 500, and it only
Yeah.
takes 6 weeks.
But
That
y'all, you
even
got to keep something else in mind. China just don't build these fire trucks for the U.S. They do it for other nations too.
Yeah, worldwide. And you can do it in
And
6
they can
weeks.
do it in 6 weeks.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. 6 weeks makes sense because you have one shop that prefab and then you just put it together. They got it very well organized. It's gonna make me go look at how they even build fire trucks. Because I never even thought about that. But I know they're using metal parts, and all you got to do is prefab it and put it together. Damn. It's like a
They're gonna
kit.
make 5 trucks for every one that you make. They
Right.
can make 5 trucks in
And
6
add
weeks.
it up for all. So 5, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
if they can do this in 6 weeks, so over a 4-year period.
Over a 4-year period, y'all think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are
Over
you
a
doing?
4-year period, they can bust out all these fire trucks, and America is just making one.
Just
It ain't,
making one.
it's a damn kit at the end of the
And
day.
then think about it, y'all. We don't buy. Most of us in here do not buy American cars because we know if they made the truck, it's gonna break down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now, a lot of us in here. Look, not unless you got an older Ford or Chevy. Come on, think about all of the cars that America used to make. We don't make anymore. The Oldsmobile don't exist no more, y'all. When the
Mm,
last time you
and
seen
I
a
had
whole
an Oldsmobile. I had
right?
an Oldsmobile.
That's what we
LBZ, I
made
had
cars that
back
made
in the
sense.
80s, I had a Cutlass Supreme. Y'all remember those?
Yes, I do.
I had
mean,
a brand new one, Cutlass Supreme.
a close
Me
girlfriend of
too.
mine had a Cutlass. I remember.
That was
Mm-hmm.
my first car, Cutlass Supreme. My dad
Yeah.
bought it for me when I got back from the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yep, and mine was royal blue. That's what color it
Well,
was.
that is mind blowing to me. What the hell are you doing in 4 years where all you just put a kit together?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'll
The
leave that
only
like I said.
car I would never buy again that I had one, I had a Buick Regal. I would never in a million years buy another Buick.
Mm.
That's
I
the
would
worst Buick
never
ever,
ever
too.
buy a Buick. That's one car I would never buy ever again.
Mm-hmm.
I used to like the Roadmaster and the LeSabre. I don't know
Uh-huh.
why I never really liked that Regal like that.
Yeah, I had one, but after that one, it was Oldsmobiles. After a while, the older they get, it's almost like you have problems starting them and everything. And I was like, I don't want this car. I traded, in fact, I traded my Buick in for the Cutlass, Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. I traded it in for that car.
Somebody last said these names. Yeah, y'all remember the Buick LeSabre
Yeah,
and
the
the Buick
LeSabre. I
Roadmaster.
remember that. Yes, I do. Yep, I remember that car. Mm-hmm. You had a Ford Econoline van. I remember those on the road back in the day.
Remember, if you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to buy a van back then, it had to be one of them big Econo lines if you was doing any work.
Yeah, very true. That is true. But I used to see those vans all over the place back in the day.
Mm. Lisa didn't mess my head up. I'm over
What?
here. Over
What
here.
with the fire truck?
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
I'm stuck. I can't get off of that.
yeah. Well, see, and not only that, China, when if you notice in their factory, there's hundreds, if not thousands of people all working at the same time. And that's another reason why they can get so much done in a short period of time. Because I was looking at one apparel shop, you just saw row after row after row of all these Chinese people all sitting there sewing. It had to be, if it wasn't, it had to be almost close to 1,000 people on the floor all sewing at one time. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, see, that's why they get so much done.
Okay, they're saying, Lisa, building a fire truck takes anywhere from 45 days to several years, depending on the manufacturers and the complexities of the designs and the potential supply chain issues. Some manufacturers can complete the process in about 45 days, while others may experience longer delays due to the custom designs and supply and chain challenges and the limited
Well,
number.
I tell you what, China ain't having that problem. They said they're pumping them out in 6 weeks. They're
Uh-huh.
not having no supply chain problems. They are getting this. completely done in 6 weeks.
And then they further say longer delays force fire departments to rethink new fire truck purchases. Damn.
Yep.
Well, I guess
Now
they
watch
do if
this.
they're buying it from America.
I was about to say the ones that take 45 days. How much of that is ones that got stuff imported and shipped from China?
Right.
I guarantee they didn't do everything here. The ones that take the shortest amount of time, they use that free cheap labor, and then they'll do assembling or whatever over here.
They see a skyrocketing costs and outrageous delivery times for these damn fire trucks. And I'm talking about what's going on in America. Whoa. I'll be looking into this much deeper later.
Well, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. We done been on here close to 2 hours now. Let me do my thank yous. Time to do the thank yous. All right. So, Andre Toppin, thank you for the super chat. Salute, brother LBZ. Monica Gregory, thank you for the super sticker. Dark Skin Brother, thank you for the membership, 25-month membership. Shalom, Lisa, True Royal, LBZ, and family in the chat. The Prince of Paraphernalia, aka The Pop, thank you for the 38-month membership. White people are the lice of the earth. Oh man, Lonzo Thompson, thank you for the $10 super sticker. Dark Skin Brother, thank you for the super chat. That Jake Lang Peckerwood is the definition of racism. He's one of the reasons why America is and always will be a racist country. You ain't never lie. Dark Skin Brother, thank you for the super chat. Did y'all see Will Kane on Fox News pretending like he was so upset? He's a sneaky racist prick too.
Indeed he is.
Dark Skin Brother, thank you for the super chat. These white supremacists are so wicked and blinded by hate. It's to the point where they really think they can harm us and we not fight back. Keep dreaming, Esau. Yeah, you know, that mess of them coming at us and we don't defend ourselves, that mess comes out of chattel slavery. See, they were able to scare the slaves into not fighting them back. But the thing is, even if you really look at a lot of the history overall, we fought back even if it was them one-on-one with us. We fought back. It's just that when the history is told, all of the uprisings that happened in the country, they excluded them from the history to make it seem like our people were docile during those times, but they weren't. There were a lot of uprisings in this country, but they don't want that told.
If we think about it, Bass Reeves was an uprising. He beat his slave master up and ran away.
Yeah.
And I used to think, I heard like 3 more stories of black people who did that. They just whooped their slave master and ran off.
Yeah. Yeah. And in Florida, they used to burn, if you go back in the history in Florida, they used to burn the whole crop.
Yep.
And they would burn the slave master's home down and with the whole family in there. Slave master, wife, and children, and they would burn that bitch down.
Yeah, slavery. When I did the real research, slavery was never a smooth transition. It was never a smooth transition. So how they depicted it on these movies and all that type of stuff, or even the documentaries, there was because just think of your own nature. Would you just sit up and go along with that shit?
No, you wouldn't even do it in today's standards. If they even look at how things have changed. When they do us wrong on these jobs, how many times our people jump up and slap them lawsuits on like in a minute? where you didn't hear a lot about that back in the day. But today's standards, in fact, there was a story I read this week. A Black woman sued Tesla and won. And the story came out this week. But, you know, when it comes down to our victories, they try to bury it. They've always done that. Dark-skinned brother, these other nations are dumb as hell, just like the ones running America. Thank you for that super chat. Thank you for the super sticker, dark-skinned brother. And MC to the X Project, thank you for the 14-month membership. If you ever need to get on the ground information on something, Lisa, I can verify because I'm in Shanghai, so I can tell you from this perspective. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you, True Royal and LVZ. I see he's gone. Thank you for being on the panel, and thank you to everybody in the chat.
Yeah, and thank everyone for supporting my GoFund and my Cash App too as well. It is greatly needed, and I really appreciate y'all as usual.
Yes. Thank you.
All
Shalom,
right.
family.
Ashe to the royal family.